In the unsettling world of Severance, most of our focus has been on the core four: Mark, Helly, Irving, and Dylan. Their stories have become the emotional backbone of the series, giving us a front-row seat to the psychological horrors and quiet rebellions happening deep within the walls of Lumon Industries. But they're not the only ones. The deeper we go into the series, the more we start to see cracks in the system, evidence of other severed individuals scattered across different departments and roles. Some are visible, some are hidden in plain sight, and others, we suspect, haven't revealed themselves at all. So who else has been severed? And what does that mean for the scope and the stakes of this twisted corporate experiment? Ms. Casey, Gemma, the severed wife. Let's start with the most shocking reveal. Ms. Casey, the wellness counselor on the severed floor, is actually Mark's wife, Gemma. Presumed dead by Mark in the outside world, Gemma is very much alive, just repurposed, rebranded, and reinserted as a severed employee. She doesn't remember her life with Mark. To her, he's just another worker in need of emotional balance. Her severance and the erasure of her identity is the most personal and horrifying case we've seen. She's proof that severance isn't just about productivity, it's about control, down to the very essence of who someone is. Milchick, not severed, or is he? Milchick is Lumon's ever-smiling enforcer. He seems to know everything. He moves freely between the severed and non-severed worlds. He dances, he disciplines, and he watches, always watches. But the question has to be asked, is he severed? So far, there's no direct evidence that he is. He appears fully aware of both worlds, but there's something unsettling about his behavior, almost robotic at times. Could he be a different kind of severed, a prototype, a person with controlled dual awareness? Or maybe he's someone who underwent severance but remembers? Whatever the answer, Milchick isn't just an ordinary employee. He's a symbol of the blurred line between observer and participant, and that smile might be hiding more than we realize. Harmony Coble, the ex-manager with dual lives. Coble is perhaps the most fascinating case. She's not severed, but she pretended to be. Living under the alias Mrs. Selvig, she embedded herself into Mark's outside life, keeping tabs on him and manipulating his journey inside and outside Lumon. But Coble isn't just management. She's the architect. She helped create the severance technology. Her role is too complex for a traditional severance narrative, but her proximity to it, and her betrayal by the company she helped build, puts her spiritually among the severed. She's the ghost of what happens when you give everything to a company and get nothing back. Bert, severed in optics and design. Bert is a quietly tragic figure. Working in the optics and design department, he builds a cautious, tender connection with Irving, a rare and delicate piece of humanity in a sterile world. But we later learn that Bert is retired without warning, just removed. The idea that someone can be retired in the severed world without their Audi's consent raises horrifying questions. Was Bert's retirement a business decision, a punishment, or something even darker? And what did his Audi know? The unknown numbers. How big is this operation? Season 2 starts to peel back the layers of Lumon's true scope. We hear about the exports department. New names are floated, and we begin to realize that MDR, macro data refinement, is just a single gear in a much larger machine. If severance exists across multiple departments, optics and design, exports, security, wellness, then how many people are actually severed? Is this just one floor of many? One building in a network? And if so, what's the end goal? The quiet implication is that severed employees might be everywhere, embedded into every level of Lumon's structure. Some may not even know they're severed. Others might have accepted it willingly, or been forced into it under false pretenses. Miss Huang, a new severed mystery. Season 2 introduces Miss Huang, a quiet, robotic presence with an eerie calm. She says she used to be a crossing guard, but her mannerisms suggest something much more manufactured. Is she severed, reprogrammed, a failed Cold Harbor subject? Her presence, and the ambiguity surrounding her, signals that Lumon might be experimenting with new types of severance, ones that go beyond simply splitting memory, ones that split humanity. The kids, are children being severed? One of the most disturbing undercurrents in Severance is the possibility that Severance isn't limited to adults. The Myrtle Egan School for Girls, where Coble was raised, is essentially a Lumon cult disguised as education. Children are taught to revere Keir, follow rules without question, and absorb company propaganda. Is this emotional grooming for future Severance? And what about Cold Harbor, the experimental facility? We know little about it, but rumors suggest it's tied to resurrection, memory manipulation, and possibly even severed children. If that's true, the ethical nightmare of this world deepens. The brilliance of Severance is that it never tells you the whole truth. It hints, it lingers, it plants ideas like viruses in your mind and lets them grow. The show isn't just about the severed. It's about how many people are willing to lose themselves for a paycheck, or a promise, or a company that says they matter. It asks, if you had the chance to forget your pain, would you take it? But it also warns, if someone else made that choice for you, would you even know? Mark, Helly, Irving, and Dylan may be the ones we follow, but the story of Severance is much bigger. The others, Gemma, Bert, Miss Huang, even the ghosts in the walls, are pieces of something terrifying. And they're watching.